Well, we got our first onion harvest in. I say the first because the we have 5 raised beds full of onions, and the one of the raised beds started bolting. If you don't know what that is, that's when they want to go to seed, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. When they do that, you've got to get them out of the ground. Now the other ones had fallen over, but they I didn't think they were quite ready, and then all of a sudden, 2 of them bolted, so I got them out of the ground. The other raised beds of onions are not even falling over. They look great, but the first bed is hopefully not a preview of things to come because the results are very underwhelming. So I'll show you what we got so far. So here we are. I got them on this little drying rack. And I mean, if you look at it, it looks like a ton of nice onions, but it's really not. It's a ton of foliage. And these were in a bed that we thought were the seed that we started, and it's not. This is actually some onion sets that we purchased. We know that because the onions that we started from seed are not red, and the ones that we purchased, we bought some that were red and some that were white. But all the seed that we started indoors are white. So that's probably one of the first mistakes, is not having good records. So we were convinced this was started from seed, but it's obviously not. There's about 48 of these onions in here, but if you look at them, they're tiny. They're very small. So even though there's 48 of them, it would probably take 4 of them to make a decent onion. This is what I'm talking about. This in here is decent. That's a decent onion, but it's probably one of the biggest ones, and it still would be considered a small onion. So not ecstatic about this. I mean, I'm of course I'm very thankful for what we have, but so that's equivalent to, I'm guessing, about 12 large onions. But they'll taste good and eat just the same. So the takeaway for me and any of you out there that like to garden is going to have to take better, keep better records of what we have. And what we're doing. These were planted just like last year's onions. In fact, they were in the same bed, which I know you're not supposed to, but we are in the process of expanding the garden and just don't have a lot of room to rotate. But I figured we could get by on 2 years of onions in the same spot, and I don't see any kind of pest problems. The soil still looks good, but they just didn't grow very big. So it could be that I fertilized them at the wrong time and grew foliage instead of onions. Could be that they didn't get enough water, because I do not generally ever water my onions unless it's just a drought. But for sure, got to have better records, because the first one I pulled up, obviously I knew that these were not the ones that we started from seed. So I'll show you the other beds, which are now I don't know which ones are from seed and which ones aren't. So there again, I can't moving forward, I kind of lose a year on what onions do better here, whether I you continue to buy them in sets or buy them or start the seeds indoors. So, and the other onions are even some of them are even underwhelming from these that I just pulled up. Haven't looked at the actual onions yet, but they should be coming out, I'd say, within the next month, easy. So I'll show you those too. So here's one of the other onion beds that we planted. planted, and you can see that the success rate for these was very poor. There's more straw than onions, and you can see the size of foliage on these. They look just like the ones I just pulled up, meaning that I was expecting large onions and didn't get that. And then of course there's even smaller ones. So this looks like just like what I just pulled up from the other bed that had where they had started bolting. Now these have not done that, and they haven't even started laying over. So I don't understand why one bed would do that and the other beds are not. And this is I'll show you the other beds as well. All right, so these are the other two beds. So in just doing this video, I realized I only had 4. I thought I had 5 raised beds of onions. So by process of elimination, the bed you just saw would have to be the ones we started from seed, and you know that's not a good sign either, because it looks like the majority of the bed didn't make it. So I know for a fact that these 2 beds were started from sets, and I just remember that because these were going to be flower boxes, and we made them into onion boxes because of everything that's going on in the world today, and we actually planted a ton more onions this year than we did last year. So this was the very first 2 beds that we planted out with onions, and the foliage on these are not near as big. Now, whatever the size of the onion will be, I have no idea. And I am seeing that one of these is bolting, so I will go ahead and come out and grab this one. You see this fat stalk is how they shoot off this seed head. So that giant stalk you see there is basically the end of its life cycle. Onions, in case you don't know, are biennials, meaning that they grow the first year, and then the second year is the end of their life cycle, so they go to seed. And that's when they go to seed like that, you have to get them up, because they won't store very well at all, because at that point all of the energy in the bulb is going to flower. So I'll go through here. That's the only one I see that's trying to bolt and get that guy up, and so I don't see any others that are trying to do that. Maybe this one. No, maybe not. But anyway, this is going to be just something that we have to work on and keep trying. That's all you really can do. So that's going to be part 1 of the onion harvest for this year. Again, you know, I'm thankful for the onions that we are going to get. I gotta, you know, I gotta keep better records. That way I can, you know, get better at gardening, and so that's something I enjoy, is gardening. And you know, you don't want to be spending a whole lot of time and effort growing something if it's not really producing the results that you're looking for. So now if that was 48 big giant onions, then I'd be ecstatic, you know, but it's not. So back to the drawing board. He'll give me something to study up on, see what I could have done better. Definitely, like I said, keep better records so that I know what I did, so that I can maybe not do that next year, or do something better and different next year. But I'm gonna go grab that other one that bolted, and next time when we pull up the other 3 beds, then I'll show you what we got after that. These got cure in here just like your garlic. You need to cure these out of sunlight and a place that's well ventilated. So I'll hook up the little box fan just like I did with the garlic, and let these cure for a couple weeks, and then we'll take them downstairs and store them in those mesh bags that we suspend from the ceiling. And even though these are the red variety, from what I understand, this is the first year we've ever grown the red variety, so I'm hoping maybe it's just the red variety that's kind of small. I understand that the red variety, from what I read, and I don't know if this is true, but the red variety doesn't seem to last in storage. It doesn't store as well as the white. So this may be, I don't know, this may be the only time we ever grow red onions, if they're going to all turn out like this and the white ones are so much better. I like the taste of red onions, and I just thought, this would be a good experiment. But like I said, I won't really know. I don't know what the white ones look like, because these are the only ones that came out of the ground. That one that I'm going to go grab, I don't know. I don't remember which bed that is. I know those two beds that I just showed you, the last two, the metal beds. One of them is all red and one of them's all white. So I'm going to go grab that one and throw it on the table since it's trying to bolt. And don't know if it's red or white. Anyway, when like I said, when I dig up the other onions, I'll bring you along for the ride. If you like our material, our videos, or just like watching, subscribe, join us, and see you on the next time. All right, well, spoiler alert, it was red, and that is pathetic. I mean, that is the size of the set that was planted in the ground. I mean, it literally just grew some roots and a bunch of foliage. I mean, I'm hoping it's just the red ones that are so pathetic. I picked his brother next to him, and he's still a tiny little onion. So I'm hoping it's just the reds, but we'll see.